This is the story of a city that came before, that will grow once more. The first theme is the original land, Oneida-style. Here in Takalunto, the old kin grow. Strawberry leaves, angwangheat, sumac shrubs, yolatohale, red dogwood twigs, oniguantala nikakwilotan, and a silver birch tree, begalatwistalu. There's moose hair embroidery hidden in the landscape, bending trees and swirling trees, stitched lovingly 100 years ago by our grandmother moon, Yunki Sota. The sky dome remembers our connection to the sky world, our heaven, Galunyage. A river rushes through its muddy riverbed, and a marsh creaks wetly around Takalunto's edge, all green and lush once we remember. The land remembers the original people, these government house grounds, these people of the long house, these Haudenosaunee. The second theme is all the waters, Oneida-style. These waters include rivers that still run through Toronto and lost rivers now hidden under city parks and playgrounds. There are rivers now drained and disappeared. There's the watery outline of the shoreline from just before the city of Toronto was built. These edges of water punctuated by draining rivulets, these soft, runny shapes representing the Great Lakes. This shallow and sprawling ghost of Oneida Lake, and impossible depth of the ancient Finger Lakes. In the direction of the noontime sun across Lake Ontaliyo, to ancestral territory, to trading routes. A map of such a large space, an entire system of living and breathing lakes, squashes long journeys into a short trace of the fingertips. The third theme is the big city, Ganatawana. This is a time-traveling landscape. There are Toronto streets and parks from the 19th century. French colonial houses line the roads, plucked and displaced from their 17th century. Pieces of the Toronto Islands float gracefully, looking like parks placed between city blocks, looking like happy, sunny tourist spots, built in the 20th century. There are modern ferry boats and an old sailing ship. There are streets marked on the map that no longer exist, and empty space where streets are now paved. There are walking paths through gardens and private roads with wooden bridges. There is smoke and picket fences. There are dead stumps of trees that have been torn down. The fourth theme is bad weeds, Weneglaxon. Insidious invaders, they are indigenous ecosystem slayers. They choke native flora, starve native fauna with chemicals that kill native roots and seeds. There is Queen Anne's lace and stinging nettle, purple loose strife and honeysuckle, viper's bugloss and white sweet clover, mullein and tansy, chicory and knapweed. Dozens of toxic invaders blanket the shores of Lake Oneida-style and grow through cracks on city streets. The same bad weeds grow in open pit mines behind lines of windbreak trees. And invaders grow in marshes that the city drained and filled with rubble from torn down skyscrapers. The city dwellers admire this urban wilderness. On the weekends, they get off. Oanja humwe, onega nuso bu, gana joana, waneglaxan. This inescapable cycle of power is powered by us and all our relations.
Andali,